At the very beginning, let's talk about something that most men are never taught. Because today's topic, this is what a woman feels when you stop chasing her, isn't about playing games, disappearing, or trying to manipulate emotions. It's about understanding what actually happens inside a woman psychologically when the constant pursuit she's grown used to suddenly stops. If you've ever decided to pull back, focus on yourself, or simply stop over-investing, and then noticed her behavior subtly change, this is why. When a man chases, he unintentionally communicates something powerful. I'm more invested than you. Over time, that dynamic creates comfort, predictability, and emotional safety for her, but it also removes urgency. So when you stop chasing, the first thing she feels is not attraction, it's disruption. Her emotional baseline shifts. The familiar rhythm is gone. The texts don't arrive the same way. The reassurance fades. And psychologically, humans react strongly when a pattern they relied on suddenly disappears. The first emotion she experiences is confusion. Not panic, not desire, confusion. She wonders what changed. Did something happen? Did she do something wrong? Or did you finally see something she didn't expect you to see? That confusion matters because it pulls her out of emotional autopilot. When you were chasing, she didn't have to think about you. Your presence was guaranteed. Now, it's uncertain. And uncertainty creates awareness. The second thing she feels is a subtle loss of control. Not control in a manipulative sense, but emotional control. When a woman knows she can access you whenever she wants, emotionally, mentally, or physically, she relaxes into that security. When that access changes, she becomes aware of the imbalance. Suddenly, she's no longer setting the pace alone. This doesn't make her angry, it makes her alert. And alertness is where attraction can re-enter the picture. The third feeling is curiosity. When you stop chasing without bitterness, explanations, or dramatic exits, her mind fills in the gaps. Women are emotionally intuitive, but they're also narrative-driven. When you don't explain yourself, she creates her own story. And the most powerful stories are the ones people write themselves. She starts wondering what has your attention now, what changed internally for you. Whether she misjudged your availability. Curiosity is one of the strongest emotional bridges back to attraction, because it reactivates emotional engagement. Then comes evaluation. This is where her behavior quietly shifts. She starts replaying past interactions. She reassesses how much effort she was giving versus receiving. She becomes aware of the emotional value you were providing, the listening, the consistency, the validation that she may have taken for granted. When you were chasing, that value felt infinite. When you stop, it becomes finite. And humans value things more when they realize access is not guaranteed. This is also where polarity begins to rebalance. Chasing collapses polarity because it puts you below emotionally. Pulling back restores it, not by dominance, but by self-containment. She begins to feel a subtle tension she hasn't felt in a while, not anxiety, but emotional awareness. And awareness creates emotional charge. Another key emotion she feels is when a man stops chasing, it removes the external validation she may have been using to regulate her self-worth. This doesn't mean she's insecure, it means she's human. Attention reinforces identity. When that reinforcement pauses, the mind turns inward. She starts asking herself whether she contributed to the distance, whether she assumed too much, whether she was too passive. This is something most men never see because it happens internally, not through texts or words. Then there's resistance. At first, she may rationalize the change. She may tell herself you're busy, distracted, or going through something. This is a defense mechanism to protect emotional comfort. But if the pattern continues, resistance gives way to emotional reality. And that's when the real shift happens. She either feels attraction reawaken, or indifference solidify. And both outcomes are information. If attraction was still present but dormant, your absence acts like oxygen to a flame. It gives space for desire to breathe. She may start initiating, testing, reaching out casually. These are not accidents. They're subconscious checks to see if access still exists. But if attraction was already gone, your absence doesn't create panic, it creates clarity. And clarity is not failure, it's freedom. Here's the most important part most men misunderstand. Stopping the chase is not about making her miss you. It's about restoring your own emotional center. Women are deeply sensitive to emotional alignment. When you stop chasing, you're no longer orbiting her reactions. You're grounded, calm, self-directed, and that state is inherently attractive, regardless of outcome. The biggest mistake men make is stopping the chase with resentment, silence as punishment, or expectation of reward. That energy is felt immediately. What actually shifts attraction is detachment without hostility, presence without pursuit, interest without need. When a woman senses that you're okay whether she leans in or not, she feels something rare. Emotional equality. And emotional equality is where healthy attraction lives. The paradox is this: the moment you stop chasing to get her back, you've already lost the point. The moment you stop chasing because you value your time, energy, and self-respect, you've already won. Because now, whether she steps forward or fades away, you're no longer negotiating your worth through effort. You're choosing yourself. And that choice is felt deeply. That's what a woman feels when you stop chasing her. Not abandonment, not rejection, but the sudden realization that your presence was never guaranteed, and that changes everything.